Yes, we're here. It's Thursday. How's everybody doing? Good? Is it getting any warmer? I saw some people say they just got notifications for once. That's good. It might be because of the keywords I'm using. Trump and CBDCs. I don't know. Maybe they're letting Trump trend. We'll see. All right, let me go live on this other network. Live now on Rockfin. Sorry, Rockfin. Last time I forgot to press a button. What is happening, all you beautiful people out there? Hope you're having a great day. I was going to show you the opening ceremony. I need to cough on you guys. Like this lady, I'll show you. World Economic Forum. So what are the things going on since the last time you saw me? Trump won in Iowa. I covered that. Vivek dropped out. And since then, it looks like Vivek is becoming some kind of advisor for Donald Trump and probably has a position ready for him in the administration. Probably not vice president, but that's what people are shouting out to him. So people want Vivek to be VP. There is some news, about who the media says Trump is going to pick. And it happens to be someone who's leading or who's close to leading in the betting odds to be his vice presidential candidate. They say he's going to pick a woman. You want to hear what Kamala Harris said? Kamala Harris is a woman. Do you feel like you were chosen because of your gender, your ethnicity, however you identify? That's the crazy thing about, and they're discriminating against people, or they have been, and now they're getting caught. But white males, if they're the dominant representation, in some cases they're not. There are some jobs where white males are not in the majority, but we're not trying to diversify those jobs. Those jobs self-diversify. But how did I get to that? Oh yeah, it's however you identify. So what do you identify as? I'd like to identify as a Kiwi today because they're nice and fuzzy, just like me. What's up, Al Shizzle? What's up, Joaquin and Grace Ferrer? Good to see you, Tommy Temper. All right, I was going to show you Kamala Harris saying something funny. Okay, I have just a bunch of different video clips from the internet, along with other news. Google is going to have layoffs because of AI. Are you threatened by AI? Apparently, that's they told their employees. So they said to expect more layoffs as they make more investments in technology. Technology will replace us. CBDCs, do you think they're inevitable? What do you think? Trump says he's going to say no on CBDCs because of something Vivek told him. So, do you believe it? Do you think they're inevitable anyway? You can tell me in the chat. I don't mind. All right, I'm going to play, just play a funny video of Kamala Harris, how smart she ended up being. She's she's going to remain, I assume, vice president for Joe Biden. He's not going to pick somebody else this time. Let me see. I have video of Kamala just being goofy where she does some math. Here, I guess, listen.
I see our college students up there. And let me just tell you, I love Gen Z. I don't know if something, I love Gen Z. So, okay, for the older adults, this is going to be a humbling thing I'm about to share with you. If someone is 18 years old today, they were born in 2005. Oh, yeah, check that out. Think about that for a minute.
What?
I see our college.
Think about it. 23 minus 18 is 5. Think about it. I watched a thing about Y2K. It's on HBO. They just call it Max now. People were flipping out around Y2K. They were prepping. People were prepping. This today, I hate to inform you, may be no different from any other day that went before it. It could be that it's always the same day and people are always worried about apocalypse, political change, social change, trans people. No, that's not true. The issues change. In Y2K, it was supposedly that the whole like nuclear bombs were supposed to start going off. You guys should watch it. It's called the Y2K something on Max. Yeah, you can get it on Max. Yeah, that's the one of the subscriptions I have. People were really, I mean, they were convinced, you know, and people are always convinced that Jesus is coming back. Always, every day. Soon. But time keeps marching on. So anyway, that's Kamala Harris being goofy. I'll play my intro. We're far enough in. I'll play my intro. People okay, cue musical intro. Boy, that's brilliant. I do think some things in the world are real. Like you guys. You guys are real. Most of you. Most of my listeners, I think, are not just in my head. I think I have the metrics to prove it. You've taken a leap of faith today. What is that sound? And I apologize if you take offense. I'm a little offended myself. Welcome to our show. Welcome to the future. What it is, joining you live from sunny California. It's a beautiful day today. I'm your host, Nathan Stoltman. And I bring you the news, the real news. Yes. And Kamala Harris is scared as heck about Donald Trump. How do you, I run polls from time to time. I think people are mostly supportive of Trump. There were a lot of people supportive of Vivek. Now he's 100% Trump, telling people to drop out, getting hugs and stuff from Trump on stage. So I don't know if you guys saw the Trump Vivek hug. It was a lot of manhandling going back and forth. Here's Kamala again, just because it's on theme.
And what are you going to do to stop the crazies?
I am scared as heck.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm traveling our country. You know, there's an old saying that there are only two ways to run for office, either without an opponent or scared. So on all of those points, yes, we should all be scared.
Yeah.
And
we should all be scared of Trump. But you know who came out and said, okay, I'll do this in whatever order they're coming to me in? Jamie Dimon, banker who was really in bed with Obama. He came out and said nice things about Trump. I see. Oh, and there's a clip. So I'll play you that. Jamie Dimon said nice things about Trump, basically. Oh, and it's a two-minute clip. So let's see if it's good. He said he doesn't like the way Trump spoke, but here he is. Jamie Dimon.
How do you see the U.S. economy playing itself out over the next 12 months? This is an election year. We've been talking a lot about what just took place in Iowa and trying to understand how the American public is going to feel about the economy may ultimately dictate how the president is decided.
Yes, I agree with that. I think it's a mistake to assume that everything's hunky-dory. And, you know, and when stock markets are up, it's kind of like this little drug we all feel. Like, it's just great, you know. But remember, we've had so much fiscal and monetary stimulation. So I'm a little more on the cautious side that we are facing a lot of things in 24 or 25. And we mentioned Ukraine, the terrorist activity in Israel, the Red Sea, quantitative tightening, which I still question if we understand exactly how that works. I don't think we do. How QE actually works.
I got to get to the part where he talks about Trump. See, I chose a clip that was too long, I think. Let's see.
that are going to be affecting us in 24 and 25. So if I was the government, I would be preparing for what I'm going to do about that, assuming things aren't good. And I just also want to point out, and I wish the Democrats would think a little more carefully when they talk about MAGA, and if you travel this country, and the country's unbelievable. We took our bus trip this year, and Leslie Picker was on Spokane and Boise and Bozeman. People are growing. They're hungry to grow. They're innovating. It's everywhere. It's not just Silicon Valley. So we've got this great hand. But when people say MAGA, they're actually looking at people voting for Trump, and they think they're voting, and they're basically scapegoating them that you are like him. But I don't think they're voting for Trump because of his family values. And if you look, just take a step back, be honest. He was kind of right about NATO, kind of right about immigration. Mm-hmm. He grew the economy quite well.
China virus.
Tax reform worked. Yeah. He was right about some of China. I don't like what he did.
No, I said China virus.
Yeah, I understand. He may have been right. And I don't like how he said things about Mexico. I don't like, but he wasn't wrong about some of these critical issues. And that's why they're voting for him. And I think people should be a little more respectful of our fellow citizens. And when you guys have people up here, you should always ask the why. Not like it's a binary thing. You're supporting Trump, you're not supporting Trump. Why are you supporting
It's hard to
Trump?
hate 75 million of your fellow Americans.
I agree.
It's done crazy.
And the Democrats have done a pretty good job with the deplorables, hugging onto their Bibles and their beer and their guns. I mean, really, could we just stop that stuff and actually grow up and treat other people with respect and listen to them a little bit? And I do think the economy will affect. And I think this negative talk about MAGA.
So that's what he said.
Is going to hurt Biden's election campaign.
Okay, so talking about MAGA is going to hurt the election campaign. So that's Jamie Dimon, who was buddies with Barack Obama, big time, and has been a critic of Bitcoin as well. And he says Bitcoin is crap still. I think he said it in this interview. So speaking of MAGA, they actually found that the Biden administration was flagging financial transactions that included words like MAGA and Trump. So Jim Jordan announced that it has obtained documents revealing that federal agencies have flagged financial transactions for financial institutions for people using politically sensitive words such as MAGA and Trump. So there's a letter where they said people buying Bibles were flagged. Let me see if I can close this. How do I get out of this ad? I don't see an X. I wonder if open is the right thing. Nope, it got me to an ad. That is a bad ad. That was very bad on Zero Hedge. Well, I was just trying to say that, and people who shopped at Bass Pro Shops, apparently, where they have guns, I believe, but people buying Bibles may have been surveilled. So that's all really happening. All right, so that's a little of that. Jamie Dimon, you heard from. All right, now Trump. Let's see. I have some more stuff. You heard that. Okay. You heard that MSNBC didn't carry the speech live from Donald Trump because they said they were trying to keep people safe from disinformation. Yeah, not me. It says also transactions purchasing Bibles and at Bass Pro Shops. Yeah, that's what I heard. Pretty crazy. This is a mashup from NBC. Who said they couldn't show Trump's speech because he might be lying.
There is a cost to us as a news organization of knowingly broadcasting untrue things.
Now we know that the vaccines work well enough that the virus stops with every vaccinated person.
There you go. So very hard to hear. But she said they have a thing against broadcasting untrue things. But then they also said that, which is that the vaccine totally stopped the virus. And if you're interested in learning more about the vaccine, don't ask me. Ask your doctor or someone else in authority. All right, we're bombing Yemen right now. We're bombing Yemen. We bombed them again. So it's been multiple times. there's some kind of conflict between Iran and Pakistan right now where they're throwing missiles back and forth at each other. So those things are happening right now. Is the bombing working? Here's our great leader.
Are the airstrikes in Yemen working?
Well, when you say working, are they stopping the Houthis? No. Are they going to continue? Yes.
Got it. So when you say working, do you mean stopping the Houthis? No, they're not. They're not doing that. So I'll show you the polling. There's a, let's see more. DeSantis. Okay. So Vivek has called on DeSantis to drop out. Let's see if I have that. Vivek is calling on DeSantis to drop out of the race. Okay, I'll show you the poll right now. Vivek dropped out, right? There was a poll that from somebody called the American Research Group that showed Haley and Trump tied at 40%. But the average polling right now has Trump ahead with 47% of the vote, and then Haley kind of close, and both of them going up recently. So let's take a look at the betting odds. I don't think she's going to have any chance. Let's take a look. Donald Trump is leading in the odds. And then let's see what's going to happen. New Hampshire primary winner, Nikki Haley at 13 cents, Donald Trump at 89 cents. Yeah, I mean, he's way ahead in the polls. And DeSantis, like 5.2% is his average now. So he might as well drop out because the next state, I believe, after New Hampshire is South Carolina, where Nikki Haley is from. So how did here's Trump talking about how Democrats are actually trying to vote for Nikki Haley. Here's Trump talking about that. Democrats are the ones actually voting for Nikki Haley, and she's supported by Reid Hoffman, the founder of LinkedIn, who is a Democrat donor and apparently is linked to Epstein also. So she's running as the I don't even have to run a poll. Everybody who watches this probably does not like Nikki Haley. But it shows you how there are like parallel worlds, especially if you get all your news on Twitter. If you get all your news on Twitter, you would have thought Vivek would do really well in Iowa, or if you watch he was on all the podcasts and all this stuff people like us see and maybe listen to. But he still only got 8%. And now he's come out fully in favor of Trump. Do I have his speech? No, I don't think so. I don't think I have Vivek's speech. But he said they're going to be doing good things together. So here's Trump talking about how Democrats are the ones voting for Nikki Haley.
The people behind Nikki Haley are pro-amnesty, they're pro-China, they're pro-open borders. You know, she wants open borders. Don't kid yourself. Pro-war, and they're pro-Biden because those are the people that are sending them. Biden people are coming in. They have Biden stuff, and they're coming in to register and to vote in your primary. It is crazy. You got to get that changed. We're going to take it. If we weren't popular, how do you win? Where everybody's allowed basically to come and vote. The enemy, which let's say in this case, until it's over, because the whole country is going to unify by its success. When we're successful, the country is going to be unified. We are going to unify our country through success. But right now,
unify
we don't
through
want
success.
Democrats voting in the Republican primary, Sununu. Sununu ought to do that instead of walking around with Nikki Haley and her polls go down every day. The radical left Democrats are supporting Nikki Haley because they know she's much easier to beat than Trump. And you know what? If she weren't, they wouldn't be doing it. But they're great disinformation people. Misinformation, disinformation. They're almost the same, but not quite. But let's not go into definitions right now. They're very close, actually. A lot of people still don't understand it, but I give them credit for both. But they are literally.
There you go. So that's what it is. It's the Democrats voting for Nikki Haley, and she has money from Democrat or left-wing sources. Oh, and he's got this sex case too, right? Well, let me show you the thing about CBDCs and how Vivek had an impact in regards to that. I'll show you that news. And then I have a clip saying that the WEF just confirmed that CDCs are going to happen. Here's Vivek endorsing Trump.
So we talked about a number of issues backstage, which I've actually championed in this race that I do think would be beneficial to the America First movement for President Trump to take on. And I think he was very amenable to many of them. Opposition to a central bank digital currency.
And tonight, I'm also making another promise to protect Americans from government tyranny. As your president, I will never allow the creation of a central bank digital currency. You know about that?
What's that?
So we talked about a number of issues.
See, Vivek told him about it. And then Trump came out. He was like, okay, well, that sounds good. I don't want to be for that. Right. And everybody cheered. And Trump said, whoa, really? Okay, it's a good line. Yeah. People don't want CBDCs. People don't want their spending to be tracked, monitored, and controllable. That's what CBDCs ultimately, they can be controlled by the central bank. Just like they can devalue dollars, they can devalue CBDCs too, and then they can tell you what to spend it on. So yeah, Trump liked the reaction. That's Vivek coming out for Trump. Here's what the WEF, I was going to show you. I didn't even show you the video of the person coughing on everybody at the WEF. Here's a guy talking about how CBDCs are going to be rolled in. Let's see. I haven't even.
We're developing through technology an ability for consumers to measure their own carbon footprint.
Yes.
What does that mean? That's where are they traveling? How are they traveling? What are they eating? What are they consuming on the platform? So individual carbon footprint tracker. Stay tuned. We don't have it operational yet, but this is something that we're working on.
Wow, that's insane. You guys understand that? See, they track every dollar you spend. So you fill up your gas tank, you eat a steak. Here, you want to listen to that again? Listen.
Developing through technology an ability for consumers to measure their own carbon footprint. What does that mean? That's where are they traveling? How are they traveling? What are they eating? What are they consuming on the platform? So individual carbon footprint tracker. Stay tuned. We don't have it operational yet, but this is something that we're working on.
There you go. So that's the news. That's news on CBDCs, a reason why I would ban it. And then Vivek came on and said for Nikki Haley and Ron DeSantis to step down. So I told you, Trump. Okay, so good news. Good news for Trump. It looks like he's going to be the nominee. Vivek dropped out. He was the only other one interesting to me. I wouldn't vote for Nikki Haley or Ron DeSantis. I'm not a Trump supporter, really. But I'll still point out the things he gets right. And I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But he looks like he's going to be the nominee. Looks like he's going to be the next president. So, and Biden looks like he's, has no idea where he is most of the time.
Look, we had a great conversation. I actually prefer to talk about policy rather than politics, Jesse. And so we talked about a number of issues backstage, which I've actually championed in this race that I do think would be beneficial to the America First movement for President Trump to take on. And I think he was very amenable to many of them. Opposition to a central bank digital currency, talking about certain pardons that I think we need on day one. Julian Assange included on that list. And so I'm not a politician. I'm a businessman, but I'm also somebody who cares about the details of policy and commitments. And so we had some great conversations backstage about that before I went on stage. And I think that you guys may have seen some of the rally that we had, and the response was overwhelming. And I think it's very clear who the Republican primary electorate is saying that they want to be their nominee. I ran to be that person. They sent me a very positive message, but the very positive message they sent to all of us is that Donald Trump needs to be the nominee of this party. And I think Ron DeSantis and Nikki Haley would actually at this point do this country and this party a service by stepping aside to make sure that we're focused on not only nominating Donald Trump, but getting this country back and reviving those founding revolutionary ideals. And I think we do live in that 1776 moment right now. We need to win.
You're calling on Nikki Haley and Ron DeSantis to drop out right now.
I am. And I do think that would be healthy for this country. And I think that, you know what? especially Ron DeSantis, at least of the two of them, will have an important role to play in the future of this country and leading this nation. I do believe that. But I think that the right thing to do right now is the people of this country through the Iowa caucus. It's the most grassroots process I've seen. I personally did over 390 events, built great relationships and goodwill, but the message they sent was clear. I think it's time to actually make sure we elect the right president, put America first, take the America First agenda to the next level. And you know what? America First, it's not even about Trump. It didn't start in 2016.
That's right.
It started in 1776.
You're right.
And so Donald Trump will be the right person to take this forward for the next 4 years. But we need to start laying down the foundation for this to live another 250 years.
All right.
And then some. And I do think that this is the right next step for us to take, which is why I proudly endorsed Donald Trump last night.
Well, you're
There you go. That's him. That's Vivek. Someone said the Babylon Bee meme was gold. There's a very no, it's not very offensive. It's just old school humor. Trump promises, this is from the Babylon Bee. Trump promises Vivek an administration position running the White House 7-Eleven because people say that Indians run 7-Elevens, you know. So that's the joke. That's what they say. The Simpsons, they got rid of a poo, right? But sometimes Indians own 7-Elevens. It's true. I've noticed. And gas stations. I've noticed. They're part of the owning class. They're actually privileged to be in the position of being business owners based on our standards, right? So anyway, it was, some people were offended. I think they maybe even wrote articles being offended by it. But let me see if I can find Trump hugging Vivek. So do you hear what he said? The code words that were in there? He was like, oh, Nikki Haley's not going to be part of the leading this country, but Ron DeSantis would. So I think what he's suggesting is that if Ron DeSantis drops out and endorses Trump, that Trump will take that well, and then Ron DeSantis can have a position in a future Trump administration. So we're at 99, close enough. Oh, that makes Sumi go crazy. There she comes. What is it? We got to 100 people, Sumi. It's incredible. It's undeniable. We're unstoppable. The fastest growing YouTube channel on YouTube. Yeah, we're still here. We're fighting the good fight. We don't talk about medical things mostly. I would bring you more news about that. There is an interesting clip of RFK giving somebody a slap down. But gotta stay away from the misinformation. Oh, but I do want to play you a clip of Tim Pool freaking out over calling out Trump for Operation Warp Speed. So, and I think it must have been on YouTube. So I'll show you that. I think that's a long clip. So Trump is in court right now against E. Jean Carroll, who is suing him for defamation because he said he didn't RAPE her, or sexually assault her, I should say. She claimed sexual assault, I believe, because she was trying to sell a book. So E. Jean Carroll, this is a video posted of her in her house, which is in the middle of the forest. I'll show you that, where she says some weird stuff. So here it is.
That's because some very distinguished mice live here. Kahneman lives in the kitchen. Taberski lives in the bedroom. This is my shed. And on that side are the books that most influenced me growing up. On the door are the list of my dogs. Marky, Fortuna de la Spunky, Heidi, Tits, Bloody, and Hepburn. The streams and the rivers.
People are saying she had weird names for her pets. Did she say Bloody? Then she started painting things blue.
Were dry. And it so horrified me that I came out and started painting the rocks blue to indicate that there was once a river here. And then after I got done painting the rocks, I just sort of walked over here and then did that tree and then did that tree and then I did this tree. And then pretty soon I'd done this whole forest. That's because some very...
So that's the person accusing Donald Trump. Donald Trump, who says she's not his type, and also that the lawyer asking him questions is not his type.
When you said in that video that Ms. Leeds would not be your first choice, you were referring to her physical looks, correct?
Just the overall. I look at her, I see her, I hear what she says, whatever. You wouldn't be a choice of mine either, to be honest with you. I hope you're not insulted. I would not, under any circumstances, have any interest in you. I'm honest when I say it. I would not have any interest in.
There you go.
When you said in that video,
okay, I would not under any circumstances have any interest in you. All right, you can support the show. Oh, thanks for the $2 tip from Tits McGee, who you have the same name as one of E. Jean Carroll's dogs, Tits. I have nothing but hate in my heart for Jamie Dimon, but that was nice to hear him say. Thank you for the $2 super chat. I appreciate it. If you want to support the show, there are a number of ways. You can hire me for consulting for cryptocurrency if you need help with crypto, keeping it safe, where to buy it, how to buy it, etc. You can reach me by texting my cell phone or my Google Voice phone at 650-GAY-TAXI, 650-429-8294. You can go to buymeacoffee.com/lifttheveil and you can become a member. I'm looking for one member per show. That would really be amazing if I got one member per show. At buymeacoffee.com/lifttheveil. And then we have t-shirts available at truthclothing.io. I'm shipping some out today, as a matter of fact. truthclothing.io. And then prospective sponsor is JJ's CBD Rub, jjcbdrub.com. You can look on there. He has various products. I believe some which I might not be able to mention on YouTube, but a CBD product, which I can mention. So, all right. Anyway, that was E. Jean Carroll. All right. So I think we got through the Trump news. Oh, yeah. Hold on. There's more. There's more Trump news. What happens if Trump goes to prison? This is from Carrie Lake. Carrie Lake, what happens if Trump goes to prison?
What if he's in prison? I mean, genuine question. He's facing 91 criminal charges. What if he's convicted of one or some of those charges and actually gets put into a prison cell? I mean, it could happen. Under the Constitution, he would still be able to run the country, but would that be a good thing?
We've seen the witch hunts. They've been going on since President Trump had the courage to step into the political arena. There's been one witch hunt after the next, and most of it fueled by the media, sadly. And even if he was sitting in Alcatraz, the people will vote for him because they know that he is going to put America first.
What if he's in prison? I mean, genuine question. He's facing 91.
There you go. Hey, everybody knows, even if he's in prison, he's going to win. I think that's the truth. I guess I would bet money on him winning. If I had to make a bet, I would say he's going to win. But we'll see how the next primaries go and how fast everybody drops out. But DeSantis will probably drop out soon, especially if he has a bad showing in New Hampshire. I don't know what he's planning to do in South Carolina. So it seems like the opposition to Trump is coalescing a little bit around Nikki Haley, but a lot of that's coming from Democrats. People say, or NBC News is reporting, that Trump is looking at Elise Stefanik as his VP pick. And that's the woman that asked the college presidents what they would do about calls for genocide. And actually, that rolls into another story, but she is one of the favored. So let's look at markets. A new Republican vice presidential nominee. She's the number one choice. And then Kristi Noem is number 2. And then Vivek is number 3. So Carrie Lake, who we just saw, is way down there. But you see, it's a lot of women that people think he's going to pick a woman, basically. And it looks like right now, at least Stefanik is the one people think they have inside information on. So that's not a bad bet. 3-1. 25 cents to win $1, so 75 cents. you win per share of that. You can bet on politics legally here at predictit.org. Predictit.org. You can bet on politics, which I've done from time to time, and I lost everything the last time. So I'm not bad. I don't have the capital to do that kind of thing. All right, let me show you the ceremony, the witch doctor, I guess, at the World Economic Forum. Here was her routine. There are some funny memes about this. Here's her routine where she ends up coughing on everyone, kind of. Here, check it out. Go ahead and like the video. Get some likes. This is the super chat. Like. There she coughs on everyone's head. People don't know whether to clap or not. Hey, get off those shirts. There you go. People said she was just doing a prank. So that happened at the World Economic Forum. What else happened is someone came out with something called ecocide, which is what you do if you're a farmer, pretty much. Ecocide. Show you that. Ecocide. It's from like if you have a farm and you happen to destroy some of nature in your farm. So here you go.
I mean, ecocide as a word is becoming better known around the world, and the concept is generally mass damage and destruction of nature. But legally speaking, what our organization and other collaborators aim to do is to have this recognized legally as a serious crime. Because one of the issues that sort of pervades all of this discussion is that we have a kind of cultural, very ingrained habit of not taking damage to nature as seriously as we take damage to people and property. And that, I mean, you know, if you're campaigning for human rights, at least you know mass murder, torture, all of these things are serious crimes. But there's no equivalent in the environmental space. And so, you know, unlike an international crime like genocide that involves a specific intent, with ecocide, what we see is actually what people are trying to do, what businesses are trying to do is make money, is farm, is fish, is do all of these things that are, producing energy and so on as well. But what's missing is the awareness and the conscience around the side effects, around the collateral damage that happens with that.
There you go. That's one report from the WEF from Rebel News. Rebel News is there. Rebel News is based in Canada. Apparently, people were saying something like that this was the mayor of Toronto, but I'm not sure if that's true. Apparently not. She had some sort of British accent. So anyway, yeah, that was her talking about ecocide. Ecocide. John Kerry says that no one can stop the climate agenda. No elected official will be able to stop it. Let me show you that. John Kerry, who stepped down from his role as the climate czar, I think, for the current administration, for Biden. But he says no one can stop it. No elected leader.
You know, it's absolutely critical that we accelerate. I am convinced beyond any doubt that because of the decisions being made in the marketplace now, because, I mean, you know as well as I do, even if, I don't want this, obviously, but if you wound up with a different president who was opposed to climate crisis, I got news for you. No one politician anywhere in the world can undo what is happening now. The marketplace is doing this. And the only issue for all of us is not whether or not we can get or will get to a low carbon, no carbon economy globally. We will. The only question is, will we get there in time to meet the challenge of the scientists in order to avoid the worst consequences of this crisis? That is what is at stake.
There you go. So even if Trump wins, he's saying, which everybody knows is what's likely to happen now. So Javier Milei went there, the Argentinian president, and he went out there and people are saying he did a Ricky Gervais on them. Like he went in front of them and told them they're all losers. So he was saying collectivism is wrong. Socialism is wrong. He took a commercial flight to get there instead of a private jet like everybody else. And he said this in front of them. This is translated.
Good afternoon. Thank you very much. Today, I'm here to tell you that the Western world is in danger. And it is endangered because those who are supposed to have to defend the values of the West are co-opted by a vision of the world that inexorably leads to socialism and thereby to poverty. Unfortunately, in recent decades, motivated by some well-meaning individuals willing to help others, and others motivated by the wish to belong to a privileged caste, the main leaders of the Western world have abandoned the model of freedom for different versions of what we call collectivism. We're here to tell you that collectivist experiments are never the solution to the problems that afflict the citizens of the world. Rather, they are the root cause. Do believe me, no one better placed than us, Argentines, to testify to these 2 points.
There you go. I have to look up. I'm missing it. I have Tim Pool. Let's see. Let's see if I can find the video of it. Yes. Tim Pool has a meltdown when asked about whether he would prefer. Okay. Let me show you that. Tim Pool has a meltdown when he's going, he's full on defense of Trump. There are some people who are okay. So that was Javier Milei telling him in front of him that collectivism doesn't work, communism doesn't work, etc. So here is Tim Pool arguing with Luke Rudkowski about the shot and Operation Warp Speed. Okay, so let me play that. Here Trump loses this.
Everything else is
cool.
gone. That one was like just.
And it's not the first
still
time.
think we need an acknowledgement from Donald about what happened to Operation Warp Speed. There's been a lot of Americans that have been injured. One of them was here at the
I'm so sick of talking about this.
We
dude.
have.
So I assume, I didn't even know if you could say that anymore. Some people were injured by the vaccine. Some people were. Okay, so you consult your doctor, listen to the CDC. I feel at risk even playing this, but this is Tim Pool defending Donald Trump on Operation Warp Speed.
Haven't had it. It's still a major issue because let's just say he comes into office. The CIA, Peter Daszak, Echo Health Alliance, all they have to do is restart and do whatever they did again, because there isn't a conversation about, hey, I learned my lesson. Hey, there's some mistakes. I should have done something better. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. When still he's telling people to get boosted.
He calls it
just
Trump's arrangements.
The policies, and it's funny when I see these centrist type journalists who don't like Donald Trump actually arguing with people over this, and they're putting things like, man, I really don't like Trump. But Operation Warp Speed was therapeutics and vaccines by choice. It was never forcing people to get medical treatments. And when that happened, he came out and said they shouldn't be doing this. And now years later, I'm just like, dude, it's 4 years later. Okay, I get it.
Yeah.
We should never forget how bad those things were. But it's weird to me that we look at these blue state governors who literally murdered people in New York, and it's like, but Donald Trump, it funded
Also,
scientific
can
research.
I just say something
Two
too?
wrongs don't make-
Can I just
two
say
wrongs
it
don't make
goes
a
back?
right.
It goes back to the concept of revolution. Look, I understand people have to provide for their families, and so I'm not trying to sound like a cold-hearted bitch with what I'm about to say, but everybody has choices. Everybody has free will. And I'm really sick and tired of listening to people say things like, oh, I would have lost my job, or, oh, well, I would have been fired. You either stand for something or you fall for everything. And if more people in this country would have stood up and taken to the streets and fought back against these tyrannical lockdowns, President Trump never forced the vaccine on anyone. President Trump never forced extended lockdowns. President Trump never forced people to wear masks.
But Trump told
accepted
people,
it. People allowed
Trump
their
attacked
children to
Thomas
be forcefully
Macy,
vaccinated.
who was against lockdowns. Trump attacked Sweden, who decided not to lock down. That's a fact. I still want an acknowledgement of it, and because we don't have an acknowledgement of it, because Trump still believes that the vaccine saved millions of hundreds of millions of lives.
Let me take it
The
into
scenario could again unfold.
Okay, I'll tell you why I'm done with this. Because the anti-Trump people say Trump did the exact same thing Ron DeSantis did, but Trump was wrong when he did it. And then the DeSantis people are like, DeSantis did the same thing that Trump did, but DeSantis was right when he. I'm like, dude, in the beginning of COVID and the lockdowns, Donald Trump said 15 days to slow the spread. And we were all, not everybody, but a lot of people were like, okay, well, we don't know what's going on. And now that we have hindsight, you have people being like, Ron was correct. No, Trump was correct. No, Ron. Dude, I don't think we need to adjudicate what happened 4 years ago, now that we have hindsight, and we can talk about it today.
But then it's not fair to go after DeSantis.
And now what's going to happen is,
if you can't criticize Trump on.
All right. So there you go. That's the meltdown. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, whatever. What can I say? They're safe and effective, guys. Everything's safe and effective. All right. So that was one of the arguments on Tim Pool, though. Like, he doesn't think Trump has to own up for anything. He did do Operation Warp Speed. He has said lots of nice things about the shots. But yeah, Laura Loomer, you're looking at her. I know she's had some work done or something. She has no wrinkles evident anywhere, which isn't natural, I don't think. Something's going on with Laura Loomer's face. So meanwhile, there are special lines and provisions for illegal immigrants flying around the country, or undocumented immigrants flying around the country. They don't even have to get their picture taken. You just have to follow instructions. And it says you may decline to have a photo taken, but you have to give your identification number or biographical. You must still provide your alien identification number or biographical information to the TSA officer, even if you do not have your photo taken. So anyway, these are special instructions because people are saying there are undocumented immigrants flying through our airports. So Elon Musk said from the river to the sea, saying from the river to the sea was amounted to genocide. Well, that's what Netanyahu is saying. So I'll play just a short clip of Netanyahu translated.
That in any other arrangement, in the future, the state of Israel have to control on the entire area from the river to the sea. This is what happens when you have sovereignty. This truth I say to our American friends. And I also stopped the attempt to impose us a reality that will jeopardize us. A prime minister in Israel has to be able to say no, even to the best of friends. To say no when you need to, and to say yes when you can.
So anyway, there you go. He says Israel has to control everything from the river to the sea. The same thing that they're saying is genocide, if you say it on campus, is calling for genocide. So I think they were found guilty, actually, by the International Court of Justice. New cancer diagnoses are expected to hit a record high in the United States this year, driven in large part by an alarming increase in cancers among younger Americans. That's from Axios. The shots are safe and effective. Cancer may not be related, but you can decide. Google is warning of mass layoffs in 2024 amid artificial intelligence push. I can't play that. RFK Jr. There was a trans woman a male identifying, what do they call them? I forgot what the proper word is for it. Transgender woman, a man who used to be a man, was arrested for planning violence against Jews, Black people, and transphobic people. And they found a bunch of weapons, 16 rifles, 11 handguns, tens of thousands of ammunition rounds, gun accessories, 48 drawings, and a composition notebook called Black Shadow Journal. 56-year-old transgender person was arrested. So we have, our economy. Oh, here's differences between college and trade school. I haven't heard this actually. This is the difference. People have been going to college, but they can go to trade school. Here's a person talking about the difference in their relationship. And then I'll check to see if I got any coffees. Thanks everybody for tuning into the show. Appreciate you guys. Hit the like button as long as you're here. Thanks, Michelle Obama as a man. Appreciate that. Thank you. $5 super chat over on Rockfin. Thank you for that. Appreciate you. Says great show again, man. Thank you. Doing what I can. Here, let me play this clip.
So everyone pushes college, and I went to college. I have a master's degree. I make very good money for my age. My husband did not go to college, and I've talked about this on here before, and I don't think you understand. I don't think you understand it. So I'm going to throw it into perspective for you, and I say it not to brag, but to hopefully help any of you. I have a college degree. He has a high school diploma. He went to trade school right after high school. He got his certificates and everything. And here we go. So this past July, he had already brought home more than my gross salary this year. Come December, he will have quadrupled my salary. Quadrupled it. If he decides to pick up overtime on a weekend, a 2-day weekend, if he picks up overtime, he brings home that weekend, just in those 2 days, more than I make in a 2-week check. I have a master's degree. He has a high school diploma. So that reason right there is why I will not push college on anyone. If you think that college is not for you and you want to try a trade school, obviously look into it, see if you think that you have what it takes, and then 100% do it. Do it. I don't think that enough people are talking about this. And it is 100% worth it if you stick with it. He's been doing it for 8 years, so obviously he has made his way up the ladder. But if he leaves his job today, 100% guarantee he will make the exact same amount of money wherever else he decides to go. I cannot stress it enough. I can't stress it enough. I am so jealous. Like, he doesn't have student debt. Nothing. And he's quadrupling my salary in 1 year.
There you go. So that is an example. That's somebody talking about the difference between college and trade school. It's true. So then, by the way, they found cocaine in Hunter's gun pouch in 2023. It was a firearm that they held since 2018. But so they found something from 2018 in 2023. They pulled sealed evidence from a police vault to take photographs of the defendant's firearm. Upon opening the evidence, FBI investigators observed a white powdery substance on the defendant's brown leather pouch that held the defendant's firearm in October 2018. And they tested it and it determined that it was cocaine. So they actually found cocaine on the pouch where Hunter held his gun. All right. So that's the news for today. I think I got you guys updated on everything. Thanks for tuning into the show. Make sure to visit our store. Let me check. I'm checking to see if I got, that is a new fruit. Oh, that's weird. I don't think I got any new members at buymeacoffee.com. Please go ahead and support me there if you can. by becoming a member or dropping coffees. Thanks for the people who dropped super chats over on Rockfin. Check out our store, truthclothing.io. Get your propaganda shirt or your Truth Matter shirt or question everything. I'll send them out. And if you need help with anything, if you want to consult on anything, just text me at 650-429-8294. Okay. Thanks, guys. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate you. And we'll see you at the next one. For now, that's what it is.